Have you ever heard a native English speaker say, "I like the job, however, the salary is low," and thought, wait, could they have said although instead? Today, we're going to solve this once and for all. These three words confuse millions of English learners, but by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly when and how to use although, however, and nevertheless like a true native speaker. Hey, welcome back to Daily English Edge. Today we're breaking down three powerful contrast connectors that native speakers use every single day. These words help you express opposing ideas smoothly and naturally. Learning the exact differences between although, however, and nevertheless will immediately improve your speaking and writing. Let's jump in. Let's start with although. Although is a conjunction that introduces a contrast or contradiction within a single sentence. It comes at the beginning or middle of a clause and connects two ideas that seem opposite. For example, although it was raining, I went for a walk. Notice how although comes right before the contrasting idea. Here's another example. The movie was long, although it was entertaining. Although shows that something is unexpected or surprising. You always use although to introduce a complete clause with a subject and verb. Think of although like a bridge that connects two opposite thoughts in one sentence. Now let's talk about however. However is an adverb, not a conjunction. This is the biggest difference. However connects two complete sentences or independent clauses, and it usually comes after a period, semicolon, or comma. Here's the key. You need punctuation. For example, I wanted to go to the beach, however, it was too cold. See the period? Or use a semicolon. I wanted to go to the beach, however, it was too cold. However can also come in the middle of a sentence like this. I wanted to go to the beach. It was, however, too cold. When you use however in the middle, you need commas around it. However is perfect for more formal writing and professional conversations. Native speakers use it constantly in business emails and presentations. Nevertheless is very similar to however. It's also an adverb, and it works the same way. Nevertheless means still or in spite of that. It connects two complete sentences and usually needs a period or semicolon. For example, the job was difficult. Nevertheless, I completed it on time. Or, the job was difficult. Nevertheless, I completed it on time. The difference between however and nevertheless is subtle. Nevertheless is slightly more formal and a bit less common in everyday conversation. However is much more popular in daily English. You'll hear however much more often. Nevertheless is perfect for essays, reports, and serious discussions. Both nevertheless and however show that something is surprising or unexpected, just like although. Let me show you the same sentence using all three words so you can hear the difference. First, with although the hotel was expensive, the rooms were small. Notice it's one sentence. Now with however, the hotel was expensive, however, the rooms were small. Two sentences connected, and with nevertheless, the hotel was expensive, nevertheless, the rooms were small. Nearly identical to however, but more formal. Here's the grammar rule. Although is a conjunction that goes inside a sentence. However and nevertheless are adverbs that connect sentences from the outside. If you're unsure which to use, remember this. Although always stays inside one sentence. However and nevertheless always separate two sentences or use a semicolon. Let's practice with real situations. Imagine you're in a job interview. You might say, "The commute is long, although the company culture is amazing." That sounds natural. Or, "The commute is long, however, the company culture is amazing." Both work, but they feel different. Although is more casual and connected. However is more formal and structured. In casual conversation, native speakers prefer although because it flows naturally. In professional emails and presentations, you'll hear however more often. Now here's your challenge. Pick one sentence and try using all three versions yourself. For example, think of something you like but also dislike. Maybe, "I love my apartment, although the rent is high." Then try, "I love my apartment, however, the rent is high." Feel the difference? That's how you'll remember these words forever. There you have it. Although is a conjunction that stays inside one sentence. However and nevertheless are adverbs that separate two sentences. Now you can use all three confidently, just like native speakers do. The best way to master these is to practice writing sentences about your own life. Leave a comment below with one sentence using any of these three words. And remember, subscribe to Daily English Edge for a new English lesson every single day. Your fluency is one video away. Keep learning.